Hey, what's up, Arnimane? My name's Arnimane, and welcome to another episode of Would You Rather. This is serious where I answer Would You Rather questions that you guys left for me in the comments section below. If you do have any Would You Rather questions you'd like me to answer, make sure you leave them down in the comments section, and I will answer them in the next episode. If you do enjoy this episode, make sure you hit that like button, and of course, if you missed any of the previous episodes, feel free to click on the link in the description below. It'll take you to the entire playlist. Now, with all that out of the way, let's jump right into this week's question. Starting us off this week, we have Dark Teen Titan who asks, would you rather only have anal sex or only have vaginal sex for the rest of your life? Well, first of all, I think the only pro that I can think of for anal sex is the fact that well, I guess there's two. There's one, you don't have to worry about making babies. You probably don't have to worry about STDs, and I guess there's a third thing is it's probably tighter than a vagina. So I guess really those are the only pros. I mean, there's cons, you might get shit dick, so you don't really want to worry about that. But I just don't find it, for me, I don't find it as attractive as a vagina. Having vaginal sex is more appealing to me. Sure, it has the more cons probably than the pros, but at least well, I don't know, because I guess vaginas are naturally lubricated, unlike anal sex. So, of course you have your cons where it's STDs, you can knock a bitch up, but just to me, I just don't find anal sex appealing. I've done anal sex, and I did enjoy it, but it wasn't, for me, it wasn't as enjoyable as actual vaginal sex. So I'm going to have to go with only have vaginal sex for the rest of my life. Thank you for your question, Dark Teen Titan. Let's move on to the next one. Ekton324 asks, would you rather eat a ghost pepper straight with no liquids, nothing that would damper the heat of or the spiciness of the pepper, or get all of your chest and pubic hair waxed off? Do you know how painful that is to get your chest and pubic hair waxed off? How women do that on a weekly, a bi-weekly, maybe a monthly basis is beyond me. I get a piece of tape stuck to my arm and I have to rip it off, and I just fucking can't. It hurts so goddamn much. But I do realize the ghost pepper is probably, I don't know if it is or it's one of the hottest peppers in the world, but I think I would honestly much rather take the ghost pepper just straight up, with no liquid, nothing to dampen the hotness of the heat of the pepper, just because getting your chest hair and your pubic hair, or even just any part of your body, is so bloody painful. To me, it can make you bleed if if it's done wrong, or even if it's just you have a lot of fucking hair there, it can make you bleed. I mean, if you guys ever seen that part in, I think it's the first Hangover movie where they wax the guy's chest, that's real. Well, all that little sprinkles of blood that you saw, that's real. And that's that was not faked at all. They said it in an interview that was 110% real, and I cringe every single time I see that part of that movie. And I cannot imagine. I think I'd much rather just take, because remember, that pain's gonna be all across your chest, and if you're hairy like me, down your stomach, again, and then of course your pubic hair, but with the ghost pepper, it's kind of confined to one area, and I think that I would be able to, I guess, be okay with having the pain, I guess you could say, in my mouth rather than just going across my entire body. That would be just brutal. Yes, brutal. But anyways, thank you for your question, Ekton324. Let's move on to the next one. Insist Panda asks, would you rather have your dick cut off or have your hands cut off? If you don't have a dick, you have no life. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say, because being a dude, your dick is pretty much your second head. A lot of times you think with it. You kind of rely on it for pleasure when you're alone. And if you don't have it, then I think life would really, really fucking suck. I feel so sorry for those guys out there that had their dicks cut off or deformed or whatever. But then again, it comes down to stuff like your hands cut off. I mean, there goes 90% of the things that I enjoy. I wouldn't be able to play video games. I wouldn't be able to I don't know, like my life would be so hard to pick up, like a drink or something like that. At least I think so. Anyways, and it just kind of look weird because you remember, like, people are gonna see that you have no hands, but people aren't gonna know that you have no dick until you whip it out, right? So this is a really hard one. But I think I would. I really don't know. This is really hard because I really don't want to lose my dick, but at the same time, it's just like my hands. Like, I kind of need them. Like, I couldn't imagine like living a life like losing a finger, much less both my hands. But I think what it comes down to is what's more useful. You know how awkward it's gonna be when you have to pee with no dick. You know what? I'm going with no hands. Just because I feel like 90% of pleasure in life revolves around the penis. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I would much rather lose my hands than my dick. Thank you for your question, Insist Panda. Let's move on to the next one. Quiddo asked, would you rather be a high-end or high-class prostitute or be a bank robber? So the way I look at this is, like, if you're a bank robber, sure, you'll make a shit ton more money than a high-end prostitute. But you also have, like, you're looking at a lot of jail time. Like, people go away for a long time for bank robbers, for bank robberies, especially if you end up killing someone or whatever. But like, and you take hostages. I think hostages are like 15 years right there. But don't quote me on that. But when it comes to prostitute, sometimes you'll get community service. Sometimes you'll get a year or 60 days, 30 days. Maybe, I think, max 5 years. I don't know. Don't quote me on these. I'm just throwing these out there. I just don't see the punishment for being a prostitute as high as being a bank robber. And I think it would be less risk. Of course, prostitutes, you have to deal with STDs and stuff like that. But, if you're high-end and prostitute, it means you won't be doing blowjobs unless they're wearing a condom anyways, right? And also, when you say prostitute, am I the male equivalent of a prostitute? Or are you saying I'm getting a complete sex change and becoming a female and then becoming a prostitute? That's the question. That's the real question here. But let's just pretend that I'm going to be completely changed into a female and I'm going to be a prostitute. I think I would much rather go with the prostitute route. I mean, especially if, it's sex. Sex is really enjoyable. So, as awesome as the money would be from being, robbing banks, I think there's too much of a risk compared to the reward. So, let's take the easy way out here. Just become a prostitute. Make the not as much money as the bank robber route, but still have a great time doing it. So there you guys have it. That is this week's episode of Would You Rather. If you have any Would You Rather questions, make sure you leave them down in the comment section below. I always enjoy answering them, and they will all be answered in the next episode. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Always appreciate your support. And of course, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay dirty.